Oh man, generally I think that the idea of an auto-dimming rear view mirror is a pretty good idea. I don't have to flip a little switch on the bottom, when it gets dark outside, the mirror dims, and I don't get the glare from the headlights. And there's only one problem though. On a really hot day, back in middle of July, the mirror cracked. And the goo sandwiched between two pieces of glass, the stuff that, when electrified, it automatically dims, but started to run out right here. And the whole mirror kind of has this lava lamp look to it. It's cloudy. You can see down here right at the bottom, there's still a little area where it's clear. Man, I read online that Volvo gets almost $700 to replace one of these, because there's a circuit board that's connected in with the security system that's actually physically mounted inside the mirror, and the mirrors themselves are expensive because they have the light sensor on the front and on the back. $700 to replace my rear view mirror, because they have to reprogram the computer too. Let's see if we can avoid that. Alright, so using information that I found online with a link down in the description there, go ahead and click through to that if you want to, and take a look at the step-by-step. We're going to try to do it here on video and make it helpful for as many people as possible. I'm not saying that this is endorsed by the manufacturer or anything like that. I mean, this is a 2001 model. It's 2013. This unit is far out of warranty. This is a Volvo V70 2.4T from the year 2001. This mirror, as I understand it, has been used on several models from the same era, really from the early 2000s on through the mid to late 2000s. The S80, the V70, the XC, several different models. Alright, what's order of business number one going to be? We got to disconnect the negative battery terminal. Why in the world do we have to disconnect the negative battery terminal? Well, remember what I said about the rear view mirror being tied into the security system of the car? And if you go taking that mirror loose when you've got the battery connected, the security system is going to kick in and keep you from starting the car, from what I've read online. I didn't actually happen to have the right size socket for my ratchet, but just use what's available. In this case, a good set of pliers. And a little of that, and the power is off in the car. Now we're going to tuck our negative battery lead on down in here where it cannot possibly short out against the battery, because that would really be bad. And now, just to keep things as safe as possible, I'll actually throw the cover back onto the battery. There we are. So from what I've read, you got to wait at least 10 minutes for the anti-theft system to de-energize from the time that you disconnect the negative battery terminal. Now, with that said, I'm going to try to get as much unhooked as I can without actually removing the mirror and disconnecting the electronics, just while I still have some daylight here. Alright, yeah, I know that the light is low, but just to clarify everything we did to get this housing out, we squeezed this clip, that clip right there, clip right here. We popped this rotary clip down, this rotary clip, another retaining clip here, another one here, and right up here at the base of the mirror here, and finally the last one. And then the whole works comes down out of the headliner. Alright, so our next step is going to be that up on the top side of the mirror there's going to be a Torx screw that we need to remove, and we've got to undo the cable which goes into the back of the mirror, this bundle right here. That's going to be accomplished by popping this back off of the rear view mirror, like so. And then if we put our little screwdriver into the hole on the bottom of the mirror, which is right there, then that will release the bundle of cables. So that is next steps, is to get yourself a junkyard mirror. And that's important because you've got to have something new to replace the old with, right? This particular unit came from eBay. Got it for like $40. And disassembly is fairly simple. Get your small screwdrivers and you're going to basically find the points, the catch points, which are right along the edge here. I'm actually going to switch to a slightly larger one. There we go. The trick is finding the points where the catches are. And there's one right there, right next to the bracket. There's another. There. Just work your way along the perimeter of the whole thing. Go ahead and switch to this side here. Just be careful not to stick the screwdriver too far in so that you don't damage any of the internal components or anything. So we've got the top half open or separated here. Let's work our way along the bottom now. Alright, most of the way there. Got one catch left. There it is. Alright, so here you are. We've got the front separated with our new glass. What we've got to get rid of is this circuit board. Alright, move the camera over here for better perspective. So the first thing we need to do is get it out of the plastic housing that it's in. And what we're going to do for that, we've got to very cautiously remove the sensor circuit board from right here. And these little plastic pegs holding it in place. So I'm going to try to just cautiously move that out of the way. Because once we get this little tiny circuit board out, like so, and be careful not to damage any of these leads, this ribbon wire here, and the whole works lifts out of the plastic bezel. we hold on to the plastic, and now we've got the mirror that we're working with. And so since we've got the glass directly exposed, I'm going to go ahead and put down a cloth to work on so that we don't scratch the glass up. And now the next thing we need to do is get these two red wires taken loose. If you look carefully, you can see the red wires are what is connected directly to the mirror glass, here and here. We want to take these two solder connections loose because those wires are what we're going to solder onto the circuit board from the car, the rearview mirror that's in the car. This circuit board here is going to not be used, so we're just going to heat up the solder connections. So the next thing we need to take care of is getting our circuit board separated from the mirror. And what you probably can see right here is this is double-sided foam tape, mounting tape. And that is what is attaching the circuit board to the mirror glass. And that's highly efficient because I'm sure that the engineers who designed it never intended for anybody to take it apart. But we're going to take it apart. We're going to get this circuit board separated from the mirror glass. And the way that we're going to do that, what's been recommended by the articles we see online, especially the link you see down in the description, is a heat gun. I don't have a heat gun, but I got a hairdryer. So we're going to heat up the glass, heat up the circuit board, with the intention being to separate the circuit board from the tape. We're going to leave the tape attached to the mirror. We're going to get the circuit board off, because then we're going to take the circuit board from our old mirror, the cracked one. We're going to attach it back here. Here's a tip. So suggestion is to go ahead and use a marker, or I'm going to use my screwdriver and mark, kind of create a template for myself, and mark right along here in the tape where the edges of the circuit board are, so that I'll be able to position the circuit board in just the right location when I remount it. And that's important because the sensor right here has to line up with the hole on the back of the mirror housing back here, right there, when I put everything back together. And there we go. We have our circuit board separated from our glass. So here we are. Our new piece of glass still here where we left it. I guess it better be, right? And the new, or rather the old mirror, the one that I just took out of the car. And I opened this up the exact same way as I opened up the replacement mirror. Put your housing to the side. I guess we're probably just going to pick whichever one looks better of the two to be the one we keep. And here we are. This is the circuit board that we need to keep, but the glass with the crack in it. That's one. Wish there was a way I could give you a better view on this. But then again, if you're watching this video, you already know how to desolder. Alright, our two wires are loose. We're going to start heating, and we're going to heat, I'm leaving my soldering iron plugged in this time. We're going to heat the glass side, and we're going to see if we can get this separated without doing any damage. Successfully separated the old board, the board that we're keeping, from the old mirror. We've gotten all the little bits of foam tape off it. Now we've got to position it on our new piece of glass. You'll recall how we marked the edges of the circuit board on the foam tape. The point being, of course, to make sure we get things lined up well when we install the board. When we install the board, we want to make sure that this light sensor here is going to line up with the hole in the back of the mirror housing. So, since there's not a whole lot of stickiness left in this tape, I'm actually going to heat the tape a bit. The goal being to hopefully get it a little stickier before we stick the board to it. Paying close attention to all the marks we made. See if we can get this thing positioned in just the right way. It's going to be just like that. So we're going to hold it in place just a minute or two to get the adhesive to hopefully grab it. Our soldering is done. Connections are solid. The board is still trying to pop off of the foam just a little bit, but I imagine when we snap it back together, we'll probably resolve that problem. Keep the one that's in better shape. Again, be cautious as you're handling the ribbon cable. These little teeth or pegs that hold the sensor assembly in place are a little bit on the fragile side. So we're going to set that into its housing, and then we'll snap the sensor into place. This also has your seatbelt light on it. I don't know if you probably noticed that like I did. Maybe they put things in a little bit strange places in a Volvo sometimes. And that is done. Soldering iron. Take and snap the back of the housing on, and I'm going to try my best to take a quick look as I snap the back of the housing on to make sure my sensor is lined up with the hole on the back. And it certainly appears to be. Yeah, that's working out nicely. So we're just going to take one last push on the board, make sure she's attached to the adhesive, and we should be able to snap this guy together. You can't see it in here, but the sensor is lined right up with the hole as it should be. So what we're going to end up doing, and I can't show you this at this point because it's gotten dark outside here, excuse me, at the house, but we're going to basically do all of our disassembly steps in reverse. We're going to place the mount for the mirror in position. We're going to drive the Torx screw in. Then we're going to connect our cable back to the back of the mirror. Then we are going to take that whole reading light assembly, position it back up in the ceiling of the vehicle, make sure that all the retaining clips are in position, snap our lens back on, and then I guess there's a couple of bolts we have to put back in that process. Then we'll put the battery connection back on. See what happens.